Almost every practice owner has an unsolicited offer on their desk from a DSO saying your practice is worth this and we're going to back up the Brinks truck and give you a boatload of money.
DIY can kill a deal before it starts. What are other deal killers that you've seen and how do you navigate through those?
The two big ones that jumped out for me.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Office Hours. This is Justin Marti with Marti Law Group, and have an interesting discussion today about why dental practice deals fall apart and how we can save them. I think there's no better expert that I've met in the industry on how to save deals or how to get a deal across the finish line than my colleague and friend, Kevin McGonigal. Kevin joins us today from DDSmatch, which is a dental-specific brokerage. Kevin joins his brother Joe McGonigal and Bill Coates on the DDSmatch Northeast team. So they cover Eastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, Connecticut, Western Massachusetts, and Jersey. So a pretty large territory that they're involved in. I've worked with their team a number of times. They're absolutely fantastic. Prior to that, Kevin worked with Patterson. He was a CEREC and equipment specialist. In his time there, he helped over 250 practices with buildout equipment. Really, he's seen it all from helping the practices start, scale, and now in his current role, exits. So without further ado, Kevin, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Justin, happy to be here. Thanks so much. And I will say my career has come full circle. So it's been almost 25 years at this point. And I am working with some clients who I did help design their office way back or sold them a key piece of equipment or technology. So it has been really fun to stay in this, what is still a relationship business, and to be around people that I've worked with for over 2 decades at this point. So yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here today.
Awesome. I think, like I mentioned in the kickoff, is a lot of discussions that we have with colleagues in the industry, brokers, attorneys, lenders, it's always very like valuation driven. What's my valuation? How do I drive up valuation in terms of sellers anyway? And why I think that's important, and we can touch on it along the way. What I love about in a pre-show discussion you and I had was it was just a lot more real, right? Like a lot more like, what does a broker do? And I think, and the value a broker brings, and what I actually loved, I literally wrote it down when you said it, was you don't hire a broker to find a buyer. You hire a broker to get a deal across the finish line. And to me, I wrote that down. It resonated because it was just so impactful. And I think it's true. We have clients who I talk to them about finding a broker because they come to me, right? Can you help me sell? And I'm like, man, we try to stay in our lane and we don't do valuation. We don't see that side of it. We're the nerdy lawyer guys. You need someone who understands this business and can help it get over some of the hurdles. And in their mind, I think a lot of them are like the broker, they make an introduction. They go to the beach for 2 to 3 months, and then they show up at the end to get a check.
I wish.
Right. And I'm like, and then they're like, and lawyers, you just bill us as much as you can along the way. So I try to set some expectations and truly tell them like, no, like a broker, not only will they find you, in my experience, great buyers, and yes, the valuation will be where it should be, but they're going to help navigate these hurdles that come up along the way. So that's where I'd love to kick it off. And I think there's this idea of the DIY sale, right? The do-it-yourself sale. And folks are thinking, you know what, maybe I can just sell my practice myself. And again, I think they underestimate the process. Can you talk a little bit about why you think or where you've seen some of the DIY, the do-it-yourself sales fail? And like, when are you getting those calls that someone's, hey, I tried to sell and this happened. Can you help me?
Yeah, I think just circling back to why you hire a broker to get through the deal instead of just finding a buyer. And this is true, I would say, especially in today's market where there is still very strong buyer demand. There's plenty of financing availability, but quality inventory is low and buyers are being much more selective on the practices that they're willing to consider and certainly willing to invest in. There's no shortage of buyers, especially if your practice is located in a high demand geography. Certainly Connecticut has a number of areas like that, but likewise, Connecticut has areas that are more off the beaten path, and it could be harder to find a buyer. But still, being prepared and having your practice positioned correctly is a key part of that, so that when you identify somebody, you're able to get through that process smoothly. As far as where do these deals fall apart or when do I get the phone call, it's usually after it's too late. That fish has gotten off the hook and maybe some frustration has set in. Maybe they've reached out to somebody like you who says, hey, why don't you call a specialist, essentially, which is what a broker is. We deal in very stressful one-time events. That's our specialty, is getting through that. So I think what's often understated and where these get off the rails is really just emotion, and that wrapped up with deal terms. It's very hard for an owner to be objective about their practice and to understand the risks and challenges that a buyer is taking on with that practice. And I think that's what a broker is really able to do, is to bridge that gap, help a practice owner understand where their practice fits in today's market. What does the buyer profile look like? So that when we actually bring somebody forward, they understand that. They check some of those boxes, and on paper, it looks like initially this could be a fit. And that's where we like to start from.
Prior to hopping on here, we were talking about a deal we have going right now, right? Where we've got the willing buyer and willing seller, but really the psychology is just not aligned, right? And we don't know what's going to happen with this particular transaction. And we've seen this many times, right? I do sense that having a broker involved, you're wearing multiple hats. You're playing therapist, you're playing valuation specialist, helping put out fires. So I think there's just so many areas that you guys do save the day, and I've seen it firsthand. So it is interesting to hear that they're coming to you after a deal dies or it's falling apart and emotions are high. And then at that point, what you're saying is sometimes that ship has sailed and you're saying, okay, let's go to market the right way. Let's find some new folks.
Yeah, for me, compared to all the other sales jobs I've had, I'm still a sales professional, but I really don't feel like I'm selling anything in particular. I would say that I am more therapist than anything else in this role. So coming up with a value, if we have the correct information, anybody can do that, especially in today's world. Like, that's not actually that hard. It's being on the phone at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night when when an owner is panicking. Why is this taking so long? What's going on? How come I haven't heard anything? And you just have to calm them down. Whereas if they don't have someone to reach out to in that scenario and they fire off a text to a buyer, what's going on, like that, something that small can erode goodwill, which is really what we're protecting and defending, right? Is 80% of this transaction, of the dollars in this transaction, are allocated to goodwill. For me, that starts on the first phone call that they have with me, even before they meet an owner. It starts immediately and it carries until sometimes months or years beyond that transaction closing date. So maintaining that goodwill is really, I think, if we were to boil it down, what does a broker do? Like, that encompasses the process, the valuation, all of that. It's holding that goodwill, protecting it, and making sure that both sides understand its place in this transition and how valuable it is. And I think that's the part that DIYers get wrong, or that they undervalue or think isn't that important. They think it's all about the price or the value or something to that effect. But often it's somebody's feelings got hurt, or somebody felt that they were disrespected, and communication stalls for weeks at a time. Those are the things that kill DIY deals more than anything, I would say.
It's so true. Oftentimes, I feel like I'm trying to stay in our lane, but also let a client know, let us handle this communication, right? Or let me get with the broker or the sell side advisor and let us talk to their buy side advisors, or we do buy side work as well. So vice versa, let us talk to the sell side folk, because I've gone through the process, obviously, having built and sold a former DSO, and it's intense, right? It's emotional. You're the boss one day, and then the next day they're dangling like an employment agreement in front of you, and the tensions can be high. And without that proper liaison, I could see deals very much repeatedly blowing up.
No, it's a popular saying because it's true. Time kills all deals, right? Yeah. And when there is not a process in place and people start renegotiating terms, deal fatigue sets in really quickly. And somebody who's never done this before doesn't really know where to go or how to respond with that information. So it's just having that arm's length distance is probably one of the best investments you'll ever make.
What do you see? So obviously time, you hit on the head, time kills deals. DIY can kill a deal before it starts. What are other deal killers that you've seen, and how do you navigate through those?
The two big ones that I think jumped out for me, staff stability and confidentiality is one that probably a lot of people don't think about. And I think, again, in the DIY space, sometimes practice owners give too much information to their team, whereas in a process, they're the last ones to find out. And the reason is because for most owners, selling their practice is not and should not be dependent upon their staff, right? It's part of the goodwill that we want to transfer with it. And the best way to do that is to maintain confidentiality until we're really confident that this is actually going to happen. When you start to tell staff that there's going to be a change, people react in a normal way. They look inward and say, how's this going to impact my life? What changes for me? I have vacation scheduled. Can I still go? On Tuesdays, I pick up my daughter early. Those are all real issues that somebody immediately was focusing on themselves, and that can start to rock the ship. So what we try to do to eliminate that is maintain confidentiality, not only for the doctor and the practice, but yes, from the staff, to keep that very important element together. And then we coach both sides on how to successfully navigate that transition. Here's how the selling doctor should communicate the message to their team. I went through a process. I spent time. I interviewed as many doctors as I could, and I found a great fit. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. You should be so excited. This is how the practice gets to the next stage. That's the message, right? That leaves a team with something to look forward to, as opposed to everything's going to change. Oh no. And the same thing is true. I give the buyer a similar message. You can't change everything on day one. Make sure that the staff is listened to and heard. For every office, no matter how loyal you think the staff is, there's somebody in there that loves everything, and there's somebody in there that doesn't love everything. And I encourage the new owner to find out what those things are, not necessarily act on them right away, but listen, take them into consideration. I think when you buy a practice, you have to be a little bit of a chameleon and kind of blend in over time to get that practice to become yours, as opposed to when you do a startup, it's yours from day one and you can make all the choices. So I think we spend a lot of time on confidentiality, making sure that staff transition goes really well. And then just to pick off a second one, an easy one is price. Every owner thinks the practice is worth more than it is, and every buyer thinks it's worth less. And the truth is, it's somewhere in the middle, again, because of goodwill. It's not like selling a house where you can, as the seller, squeeze every dollar out of it, right? Like, you need this new person to be successful, and you also want them to be excited to be there. There has to be that rapport. So understanding the true value of the practice, how does cash flow work? How does financing work? How does this tie in with the real estate? There are all these moving pieces at the same time. And if you only understand one of them, the wheel starts to spin lopsided and eventually it falls off. I think that's maybe a good way to think about how that can go sideways for you in a DIY deal.
It's amazing hearing how you recap it. And I will say thank you, because I thought the first answer would be it's always the lawyer's fault. They're probably number 1, 2, 3 on the list, and you were being kind. It is tricky, though, with all the advisors involved, especially if they're not familiar with dental transactions. Landlords, we found.
I didn't mention landlords yet.
We're being respectful, but landlords can certainly throw a wrench into things. And again, though, these are things that a proper sell-side advisor or broker, I think, can stay ahead of that people don't anticipate. So I do see so much value in what you're offering. I don't know if, without divulging names, any war stories that you can tell us about where you either came in and saved a deal, or just frankly a deal died and you took someone back to market for a successful exit.
We did one. It was almost a year ago. So I had talked to a doctor in Connecticut. We had an initial conversation, sounded like a great practice. I didn't hear back from them. A couple months went by and they reached out again, and we met one afternoon, and that was the morning of that meeting was supposed to be their closing. So the doctor had a friend or knew somebody who wanted to buy the practice. They had negotiated a price that was way below market. Timing was a factor, whatever. Went all through the process. And on closing day, the buyer found out that a staff member was leaving early or was not going to stay with the practice. They reduced their offer at the closing table. And as you can expect, it did not work out. We met that day. We collected anew and reorganized the practice data. We marketed it at not quite 100% of collections, but almost. We did 4 showings that week, received 2 full price offers, and we ended up selling it for over the asking price. And the difference paid for myself and I believe the legal fees as well. That doesn't happen all the time, but I think it's a very good example of, let me say it this way. Even the easy ones are really hard. So if your practice has anything special about it, it's going to be a challenge. So this took 45 days from the time I got involved. That is not normal. Again, like this was a great practice. It was poised to sell. But when we went out to market with a complete package, we were able to back up the asking price. We were able to command a higher closing price, and the doctor got everything that they were looking for. But that was a perfect scenario, I will say. But it wouldn't surprise me if we could repeat that with some of these DIY sales.
Yeah, absolutely. As you talk about timing, you mentioned the 45-day, the rush to get there. What should sellers be thinking about as they're, or even practice owners, as they're starting to think about, maybe I do want to wind down, maybe I do want to sell at some point? What point should they be contacting you, or what are the first steps that they should begin to do as they're thinking about this?
I was at a study club a couple of weeks ago, and one of the doctors was introducing me or something and said, someone had told him, you should start thinking about selling your practice the day you buy it. I'm a planner. The house I bought was built in 1805. It's very small, just has a small spiral staircase. So I know that I will not be able to live out my retirement days in this house. I also know it's going to be hard to sell. It has its unique challenges. And I will say from the moment I bought this, I planned out all the things that I wanted to do, but I am constantly thinking of, probably going to take me 2 years to sell it. So I have to plan that in. I'm not going to be able to just wake up one day and say, all right, let's move out in 2-3 months. Let's be done. So there's really you can't start early enough. And that might just be looking at your financial statement and seeing, is it organized? That might be the only thing you do for the first 10 years of ownership, is to just make sure your information is good, that you're inputting providers correctly into the software for production, right? So that your hygiene is going into the hygienist, your doctor production is going under the doctor. We see that all the time. And like that immediately starts raising buyer questions. So if you just spent the first half of practice ownership making sure that you have a good team and that your information is correct and organized, that will set you up for success when you actually get to the point of transition. I would also just check in every once in a while with somebody like myself to say, here's what my practice looks like today. What would happen if I went to market? Now, if you have a large practice, let's say over $2 million, and you're 62 years old, and you don't want to sell it to a DSO, like that's a puzzle that we are handed fairly often. And it's an interesting one because the financial implications could be very significant. Had they come to us a few years earlier, we could have planned for this one way or another, different strategies. And I think that's maybe the moral of the story is the more time you give yourself, the more options you'll have and the more control over those options you'll have. So you might not want to sell to a DSO. That's fine. But it does take years of planning to either do it or not do it, right? You might have a very specific buyer profile in mind. I'm working with a practice who does not want the new owner to do a certain type of case. Now, they can't control that long after, but they can certainly control that during the interview process and who they allow to look at the practice. So that's going to shrink their buyer pool. It's fine, It just means we have to give ourselves enough time to find that right person. If your practice is in a really rural area, it doesn't really matter how good it is. The buyer pool is naturally smaller. It's going to take us more than the typical amount of time if it's located on the main drag in Fairfield. So every practice is unique. Every practice is different. And we always ask people to talk to us 3 years ahead of time. That typically will give us enough time to look at your financials, make any organizational changes that we might need to make, point out any yellow or red flags that need to be addressed prior to going to market, like a lease, something like that, something that we have enough time to fix. And when you're ready, we'll be ready. There's really no pressure from us to sell the practice. We want to sell practices that are ready to sell and are marketable. And the more time that we can spend preparing and doing that, the more success we're all going to have.
Yeah, I think, and I would probably tack on to that, is the provider really should be thinking about, as self-serving, of course, as well, but like building their team out during the course of practice ownership, but certainly well in advance of the exit, right? The legal side, the sell side representation and broker standpoint, CPA who knows this industry, all those pieces really, I don't know that providers necessarily or practice owners realize that till they're starting to get to the finish line and questions come up about allocation and tax implications. And they're like, man, I have a bookkeeper who they've used QuickBooks, but they're not really giving me any guidance.
I think it was you that said this at one of the programs we did. Dental is very well traded. There are professionals in every little corner of the dental business. So whether it's real estate, legal, CPA, marketing, insurance, you can surround yourself with a great team of advisors who can carry you through every step of your career. You won't need all of us all the time, but you might need some of us some of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of wrap here. Any things you wanted to touch on, wise words that, again, sellers should be thinking about, practice owners should be thinking about, anything that you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I think just a little bit there at the end in terms of starting early. And the goal there is to develop a better understanding of the marketability of your practice. And usually when I meet somebody, the first question I ask is, how do you want this to go? What do you want to see happen? And that I feel is a disarming question. And I usually see a doctor sit back and say, I never really thought of that. Like I thought a DSO was just going to come in and buy this. Maybe not. What do you want to happen? I think that's the key. Probably almost every practice owner has an unsolicited offer on their desk from a DSO saying your practice is worth this and we're going to back up the Brinks truck and give you a boatload of money. Maybe, maybe not. I would argue you'll be in a much better position to have that conversation when you already understand your practice. Don't let somebody else tell you what you have or don't have. Don't let a buyer tell you what you have or don't have. There are so many professionals out here who can help you see it through the lens of a buyer while protecting what's most important to you. And that's different for everybody. It could be financial. It could be the right buyer. It could be the timing. And those all require different areas of thought and consideration. The number one piece of advice is start early. I'm not going to pry the practice from you. I'm going to just try to help you be in a position to make good decisions. That's usually what I offer to people is I want to give you as much information as I can so that you can make whatever the best decision for you is. And I'll be here to support you through that.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed listening to you speak at some of the seminars we've done, and you've graciously always invited me to join you. And I think your approach, your group, DDSmatch with your brother and your team has always been really, we're in sales roles, even in legal, right? But you really are taking more of that advisory position, helping them through this, which is just so undervalued. And kudos on all that you guys have done to bring it home. Again, the quote, you might need to trademark this because I'll use it a lot, but you really don't hire a broker to find the buyer. It's not that that's the easy part, but it's a little bit of the easier part. It's getting this thing across the finish line, managing personalities all over the place and hurdles. So I love it. Where can folks get a hold of you, find you if they want to have a further discussion?
I will say that is a question that most practice owners ask me is, do you have buyers? Do you have buyers? Yes, we have buyers. We have a large database. We're one of the biggest companies nationally. So we're individually owned. I work with my brother and my cousin, like you said. And you can find us at DDSmatch.com. I think Justin will put my direct contact info up. But yeah, DDSmatch.com is a good place to start or reach out directly, and love to have a conversation with you.
Awesome, man. Thank you again for the time and the wise words, and we'll chat again soon.
Thanks, Justin. We'll see you out there.